I'm Ava Wilson, 28, and I thought my life was on track. My interior design business was booming, and the lake house I bought last year was my pride and joy. But when I told my Aunt Vivian how excited I was for my brother Tyler's wedding tomorrow, her face went pale. "Ava, honey," she whispered, "the wedding was last week." My world shattered. If you've ever felt betrayed by family, drop your location in the comments, hit like, and subscribe. I'm about to share how I learned Tyler deliberately left me out of his big day. Tyler was always more than my big brother. 3 years older, he was my protector and best friend. Our parents were busy, dad with his accounting firm, mom at the hospital, so we leaned on each other. When I was 6 and crashed my bike, scraping my knee, 10-year-old Tyler cleaned me up, bandaged my wound, and carried me home piggyback. He never minded me tagging along, even with his friends. "That's just Ava," he'd say. "She's cool." In elementary school, Tyler walked me to class every morning. In middle school, when girls mocked my braces and frizzy hair, he showed up with my favorite ice cream. "They're jealous because you're smarter than them," he said, and I believed him. In high school, when bullies broke his glasses, I confronted them in the cafeteria. I was just a sophomore, but I stood up for him, and the bullying stopped. Our bond held strong in college, even at different schools. Tyler at MIT, me at Rhode Island School of Design. We called twice a week and met up during breaks. When I struggled with a tough professor, Tyler drove 3 hours with cookies and a pep talk. When he stressed over finals, I sent care packages and study schedules. Then Tyler met Vanessa. He was 25, working at a tech startup, and I was 22, starting at a design firm. "I met someone incredible," he told me, his voice alive with excitement. I was thrilled for him. But when I met Vanessa, her smile felt cold. "Tyler talks about you constantly," she said, her tone sharp. I brushed it off, trying to win her over with lunches and gifts. Over time, things shifted. Vanessa forgot to include me in group texts about family plans. Tyler canceled our monthly sibling dinners, always citing Vanessa's needs. Our long phone calls became short and distracted. When I visited, Vanessa's comments about my clothes or career stung. "Interior design must be so fun," she'd say, like my job was a game. Meanwhile, my business was thriving. By 30, I'd built my own design firm, working with celebrities and tech moguls. My lake house became my sanctuary, a fixer-upper I turned into a dream home. Tyler sent me the listings saying, "This screams Ava." He helped me move in, and for a day it felt like old times. We laughed, unpacked, and he admired my renovations. "You always see what things can become," he said, warming my heart. Then Tyler announced his engagement. I was genuinely happy for him, despite Vanessa. "You deserve all the happiness, Ty," I said, using his old nickname. At the engagement dinner, I brought a thoughtful gift basket. Tyler hugged me, but Vanessa's smile was tight. She kept cutting into our conversations with inside jokes or wedding talk. During my toast, I wished them well, and Tyler mouthed, "Thank you." But Vanessa's strange look, part triumph, part exhaustion, unsettled me. Driving home, I tried to shake the unease. I told myself things would get better after the wedding, that Vanessa would feel secure. I was so wrong. In less than a year, I'd face a betrayal that would break my heart. The next morning, I called Tyler, offering my design contacts to help with the wedding. "That's sweet," he said, sounding grateful. "I'll check with Vanessa." He never followed up. When I asked again, he said Vanessa's friend was handling everything. Then I heard from our cousin Sophia that others were helping, Vivian with catering, Mom with flowers, even Tyler's friend Jake with music. I tried not to feel hurt, but the sting was there. 6 months before the wedding, Tyler texted me about meeting for coffee. I showed up hopeful, thinking we'd reconnect. "We're finalizing the wedding party," he said awkwardly over our drinks. And I asked when he hesitated. "Vanessa picked her 3 best friends as bridesmaids, and I've got my 3 groomsmen." The truth hit me slowly. "I'm not in it," I said flatly. Tyler looked guilty. Vanessa wanted it balanced. I tried to fight for you, Ava, but his voice faded. He hadn't fought. It's fine, I lied, my heart sinking. I get it. You'll have a role, maybe a reading, he offered. I nodded, choking back tears. This was the first sign something was deeply wrong. But I couldn't face it. My brother was pushing me out of his life. 3 months out, the wedding invitation arrived, sent to my old apartment, even though Tyler helped me move to my lake house over a year ago. It reached me weeks late, forwarded by the new tenant. When I called Tyler to RSVP, he sounded surprised. I thought you were mad about the bridesmaid thing, he said. I just got the invite yesterday, I explained. It went to my old address. Oh, weird, he mumbled. Vanessa did the addresses. I'll tell her. Then Mom mentioned a save the date I never got. Aunt Vivian talked about a wedding website no one shared with me. When I asked Tyler for the link, he sent it with a casual, "Thought you had this." As the wedding neared, things got confusing. Tyler told me June 15th, but Dad mentioned June 8th in a call. I texted Tyler to check. Hours later, he replied, "Yeah, June 15th. Dad's mixed up." My family grew oddly quiet. Mom's calls went to voicemail. Dad's texts were short. Even Aunt Vivian, who usually called weekly, went silent. I blamed wedding stress and focused on my gift, a custom photo album of Tyler's life, filled with our childhood memories and milestones. I spent weeks picking photos, writing captions, and designing every page to celebrate his journey to love. The week I thought was the wedding, I took time off to finish the album. Late Thursday, June 14th, I added final touches to my heartfelt gift. Friday morning, I called Aunt Vivian to confirm when to arrive at the venue. "I'm so excited for tomorrow," I said. Silence hung heavy. "Ava," she said softly, "the wedding was last week, June 8th. I laughed, nervous. "No, it's tomorrow, the 15th. "No, sweetheart," she said. "It was the 8th. My heart raced. "That's impossible," I stammered. Tyler said the 15th. "I have the invitation." I grabbed it, hands shaking. June 8th stared back at me. How had I missed it? "They changed the date months ago," Vivian said. "Venue issues." Everyone got an email. My laptop was open from working on the album. I checked Facebook, my stomach dropping. Photos flooded my feed. Tyler in a tux, Vanessa in a white gown, my parents smiling, Aunt Vivian dancing with Uncle David, cousins I hadn't seen in years, all happy. The room spun. I called Mom. "Did Tyler get married last week?" I asked, voice cracking. "Yes, honey," she said. "Wasn't it beautiful?" "Why wasn't I there?" I cried. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" A pause. "The date change was sent out months ago," she said, her voice tinged with guilt. "I never got it," I said. "No email, no call, nothing." "We thought you knew," she said. "Check your spam folder." I hung up and dug through my emails. In my spam folder, dated 2 weeks before the wedding, was an automated message from Tyler and Vanessa's wedding site. Updated wedding information. Not from Tyler, not from my parents, an impersonal service. I called Tyler. Voicemail. "Hey, this is Tyler. Vanessa and I are on our honeymoon." Honeymoon. My voice cracked as I left a message. "Tyler, it's Ava. I just found out you got married. I don't understand. Call me back." For an hour, I scrolled through wedding photos online, numb. Jake, Tyler's best man, giving a toast. Cousins from California. Dad's sister from Australia, who I rarely see. Everyone was there except me. One photo stopped me cold. Vanessa in her gown, surrounded by 5 bridesmaids, not 3 like Tyler said. They'd expanded the wedding party, but not for me. I stared at the photo album I'd made for Tyler, filled with our childhood memories, next to the unworn dress I'd bought for the wedding. My phone rang, Dad. "Your mom told me what happened," he said. "It's a miscommunication." Miscommunication? I echoed. No one called about the rehearsal dinner. No one texted on the wedding day. No one noticed I wasn't in any photos. "We thought you were upset," Dad said weakly. Tyler said he tried reaching you. I checked my phone. No missed calls or texts from Tyler. On Instagram, Vanessa's post from 3 days ago hit like a punch. Perfect intimate ceremony with only those who truly matter. #blessed. #newlyweds. Only those who mattered. I sank to the floor in my lake house, the album and dress mocking me. This wasn't a mistake. My brother had deliberately left me out of his wedding. The pain was unbearable. I sobbed, wedding photos glowing on my laptop. Years of small slights, missed messages, growing distance, led to this betrayal. My brother, who once carried me home when I fell, erased me from his biggest day. Family calls poured in, their concern too late. I let them go to voicemail. The album lay open, showing a photo of us as kids building a sandcastle, our parents smiling behind us. My caption read, "Building dreams together since 1989. The irony stung. I barely slept. By morning, anger replaced heartbreak. I drove 3 hours to Tyler and Vanessa's apartment, knowing they'd be back from their short honeymoon. Vanessa answered the door, surprised then annoyed. "Ava, we weren't expecting you," she said flatly. Clearly, I shot back. "You haven't expected me for a while." Tyler appeared, guilt flashing across his face. "Ava, hey." I stepped inside. Their apartment was littered with wedding gifts and thank you card supplies. Proof of the day I missed. "Why?" I asked, standing in their living room. "Why didn't you want me at your wedding?" Vanessa crossed her arms. "We sent the date change email 2 weeks before." I faced Tyler. "You never called to check if I got it. You never wondered why I wasn't there." Tyler shifted. "We were swamped with last-minute stuff. Too swamped to notice your sister wasn't at your wedding." I pressed, voice rising. Vanessa cut in. "I've never felt comfortable around you, Ava. Your bond with Tyler makes me feel like an outsider." I stared, stunned. "So, you excluded me from your wedding?" "It wasn't intentional," Tyler said. "Things were chaotic." "Stop lying," I said, my voice breaking. "Be honest." Tyler's shoulders slumped. "Vanessa thought it'd be easier this way. She thought you'd make the day about you." "Make it about me?" I said, incredulous. "When have I ever done that?" Vanessa's voice was cold. "You've always been jealous of us. You monopolized Tyler's time." I looked at Tyler. "Is that what you think?" He wouldn't meet my eyes. "Sometimes it feels like you don't want me to have my own life." It felt like a slap. "I supported every choice you made. I welcomed Vanessa." Vanessa gestured at me. "This emotional manipulation is what I mean." "This isn't manipulation," I shouted, years of hurt spilling out. "This is pain. You excluded me from our family's biggest day." Vanessa shrugged. "It was intimate, just close family and friends." "I saw the photos," I said. "Over 100 people, including distant cousins and your college roommate. Everyone but me." The doorbell rang, cutting through our tense confrontation. Tyler looked relieved as he answered it. My parents stood there, faces grim. "We figured you'd be here," Mom said, glancing between us. "You didn't answer our calls." "Worried now," I said bitterly. "You weren't worried when I was missing from every wedding photo." Dad tried his soothing tone. "Ava, you're overreacting. It was a mix-up, but this scene won't fix it." "Overreacting." I snapped, voice cracking. "My family celebrated without me. You smiled, ate cake, danced, and no one noticed I wasn't there." "Mom insisted. Tyler said he told you about the date change." I shoved my phone at them, showing my call logs, texts, emails. "Show me one message about the date change." Silence. It said everything. "I found out yesterday my brother got married last week," I said. "Do you know how that feels?" Tyler looked sorry. "Ava, I messed up. I should have checked you knew, but you didn't want to check," I said softly. "Part of you was glad I wasn't there, wasn't it?" Vanessa jumped in. "You're so dramatic. This is why we kept it simple. Simple. I faced my family. You planned my exclusion and called it an accident. My phone buzzed, a text from cousin Sophia. Vanessa said they sent your invite late on purpose, thinking you'd take over the wedding. I thought you knew and stayed away. I'm sorry. I held up the message. Still calling it a mix-up? Tyler paled. My parents looked shocked. I need space from you all, I said, clinging to my dignity. Tyler, I trusted you my whole life. I'd have done anything for you, but you couldn't even get me to your wedding. Mom reached for me. Ava, let's fix this. I pulled away. Some things apologies can't fix. As I shut their door, Tyler's face, shame mixed with relief, told me where I stood. My lake house felt hollow. For 2 weeks, I shut out the world, taking leave from work, ignoring calls. Only my friends Emma and Jasmine got through, bringing Thai food and fury. Your own brother, Emma raged. Jasmine, more practical, said, you're grieving the relationship you thought you had. They were right. Shock and denial hit first, then anger at the confrontation. Now, a deep sadness settled in, mourning the brother I'd lost years ago. Journaling helped. I wrote about the wedding and the years leading up to it. Old texts and photos showed the truth I'd ignored, my slow erasure from Tyler's life. The Thanksgiving Vanessa mistakenly told me was at 7 when it was 5. Dad's birthday invite lost until the last minute. Family events I only saw on social media. We thought you were busy was the excuse. Now I saw it, a deliberate push to sideline me. Emma urged me to see Dr. Harris, my old therapist. Vanessa felt threatened by your bond with Tyler, she said. Instead of finding her place, she pushed you out. Why did Tyler let her? I asked, the question eating at me. It's easier to distance a forgiving sibling than fight a spouse, Dr. Harris said. I always forgave him, I admitted. Every missed call, every canceled plan. That taught him he'd face no consequences, she replied. What boundaries will you set now? Work became my escape, offering clear problems with creative solutions, unlike my family mess. I realized Vanessa's resentment might tie to my success. My thriving design firm and lake house, my dream home, stung her. I recalled her fake smile when I offered wedding vendor help, her snide, cute little business remarks when I landed big clients, her subtle digs at family gatherings. 3 weeks later, Aunt Vivian asked to visit. Unlike my parents' pushy move-on calls, she'd given me space. She listened as I spilled everything, the patterns I'd uncovered. I saw it happening, she said. I said, I should have spoken up. Why didn't you? I asked gently. I thought it wasn't my place, she said. But when I saw your face, realizing you missed the wedding, I knew I'd let you down. Her honesty cut through the excuses. What now? I asked. I can't pretend this didn't happen. You shouldn't, she said. Some actions need consequences, even in families. Tyler was my best friend for 25 years, I said, tearing up. How do I let go? You don't, she said. You make space for the pain without letting it consume you. She hugged me tight. Family is who shares your heart, Ava, not just your blood. That night on my deck, watching the lake, the pain eased into resolve. I couldn't undo the past, but I could choose how it shaped me. I wouldn't grow bitter, but I wouldn't pretend this hadn't changed things with Tyler and my parents. For the first time in weeks, I slept soundly, free of wedding photos or old memories. A month after the wedding, Tyler called. I hesitated, then answered calmly. Hello. Ava, hey, he said, too cheerful. How have you been? His casual tone stung after weeks of silence. I've been better, I said. What do you need, Tyler? Need? Can't I check on my sister? His fake laugh hid the lie. You haven't checked in for years, I said. We haven't talked since I left your apartment. So, what do you need? A pause hung between us. Actually, Tyler said, Vanessa and I have an idea. We didn't get to celebrate with extended family after the wedding because of our quick honeymoon. We're planning a party the weekend after next. I braced myself. Your lake house would be perfect, he went on, excited. The outdoor space, the views, everyone loves it. You want my lake house for your wedding party? I asked, stunned. Yeah, Vanessa's thinking 40 people, maybe 50. Family and friends. She's got decor and food ideas ready. 50 people, I echoed. The list keeps growing, he laughed. She's been planning for weeks. Their nerve floored me. They excluded me from their wedding, yet planned a party at my home without asking. When were you going to tell me? I asked. I'm telling you now, Tyler said, confused by my tone. Can we do it? Vanessa's sending invites tomorrow. You've already told people it's at my house, haven't you? Silence. We said it might be, he admitted. Everyone's excited to see your place. I took a deep breath. No. Tyler sounded shocked. You can't use my lake house. He hadn't expected refusal. Ava, come on, he said, using his old persuasive tone. This is your chance to join the celebration. The celebration of a wedding I was deliberately left out of. We've been over this, he sighed. It was a mix-up. No, Tyler. You chose to keep me away and lied about it. That's unfair. Unfair was excluding me, I said calmly. Now you want my home, my hard work, for a party celebrating a day I wasn't allowed to share. He brushed off my lake house as just a house. That sealed my decision. No, I won't host your party. Fine, he snapped. We'll find another place. Mom and Dad will be disappointed. 5 minutes later, Mom called. Ava, I can't believe you're refusing to help, she said. Stop this pettiness. The wedding was a mistake, but punishing everyone won't fix it. I'm not punishing, I said. I'm setting boundaries. My home isn't available. It'd mean so much to Tyler and Vanessa. Did my presence at their wedding mean anything? I shot back. Dad called next, then Aunt Vivian, who backed me fully. They've got some nerve, she said. Hold firm, Ava. Over 2 days, family members texted or called. Some like cousin Sophia and Michael supporting me, others pushing me to be the bigger person. On day 3, Tyler called again, irritated. You're being ridiculous, he said. Everyone's upset over your stubbornness. I'm not stubborn, I replied. I'm choosing how my home is used after how I was treated. We'd include you in everything. Like at your wedding. I asked sharply. That was different. Yes, that was your choice. This is mine. He tried nostalgia next. Remember when we promised to always be there for each other? The manipulation was clear. I grew up, I said. Promises only work when both keep them. Then my parents showed up unannounced. We raised you better, Mom said, disappointed. Family comes first. I let them in, but stood firm. Family should come first, I said. That's why it hurt when you all celebrated without me and blamed me for it. We've apologized, Dad said, annoyed. What more do you want? Honesty, not excuses. Respect for my choice now. Mom tried. This is about your lake house, showing off your success. It's about consequences, I said. Tyler and Vanessa excluded me. I'm not hosting their party. So you're pulling away from family? Dad asked. No, I'm setting boundaries. They left, Mom crying, Dad silent. It hurt, but I felt stronger. The old Ava would have caved to keep peace. Not anymore. The next day, I emailed my family. I value you all, I wrote, but relationships need honesty, respect, accountability. My lake house decision stands. I'm open to rebuilding, but I won't be an afterthought. I deserve better. I sent it and turned off my phone, giving them space to reflect. The fallout split my family. Aunt Vivian, Sophia, and Michael supported me. Others, swayed by my parents, kept their distance. Tyler and Vanessa held their party at a restaurant. Sophia called to check on me. It's mediocre, she said. Vanessa keeps saying it was their backup plan. I felt only a faint sadness, the sharp pain gone, replaced by acceptance. I focused on my chosen family, friends and relatives who showed real care. Emma and Jasmine became my rocks, joining me for dinners and outings. My business partner, Zoe, introduced me to her friends, widening my circle. With Aunt Vivian's nudge, I hosted brunches and movie nights at the lake house, turning my achievement into a place of connection. 3 months later, Mom called, cautious. We were too quick to dismiss your feelings about the wedding, she said. It wasn't an apology, but a start. We met for lunch at a cafe. I knew something was off with the invitations, she admitted, but I didn't want to lose Tyler. Vanessa's tough to challenge. So you let me take the hit, I said. She looked pained. I thought you'd forgive us, like always. I'm working on forgiveness, I said, but it doesn't mean forgetting. It means moving forward with new boundaries. She nodded. Dad struggles with conflict. Avoiding it doesn't help, I said. We hugged, planning to include Dad next time. Small steps. Tyler reached out 5 months post-wedding. Can we talk? We met at a coffee shop, both nervous. He looked worn. Vanessa and I are in counseling, he said. The wedding mess caused issues. Her control, once aimed at you, turned on me. He stirred his coffee. I see now how I let you down. And I asked, I'm sorry, Ava. What we did was wrong. Your reaction was fair. He met my eyes. I miss my sister. Tears stung. I miss my brother who had my back. I want to be him again, he said. If you'll let me. It'll take time, I said. Trust is hard to rebuild. I know, he said, but I want to try. We started small. Texts, short calls, occasional lunches. I set clear boundaries. Vanessa had to show real change before I'd see them together. By the wedding's 1-year mark, I hosted a small family dinner at the lake house. Not the big party they wanted, but a quiet gathering with those who'd worked to rebuild trust. Vanessa, who'd given a stiff apology, seemed uneasy. Dad slipped into let's get along mode at times, but there was laughter, warmth, and new beginnings. The sun dipped low, painting the lake house deck in hues of orange and gold. After a quiet family dinner, my cousin Ellie, just 17, leaned in, her voice soft but urgent. How did you stand up to everyone's pressure, Ava? All eyes turned to me. The air still, heavy with expectation. I took a breath, the lake's calm beauty grounding me. I learned respecting myself matters as much as being respected, I said, my voice steady. Sometimes that means tough choices others won't understand. Ellie nodded, her eyes wide with admiration. My friends push me to go along with stuff that feels wrong, she admitted. I'm scared I'll lose them. Real friends respect your boundaries, I told her, my hand on her shoulder. Those who don't aren't worth keeping. Later, she hugged me tightly, whispering, Thanks, Ava. I needed that. Her words warmed my heart, a spark of purpose in my pain. Tyler cleared his throat, breaking the moment. Actually, Ava, he said, his voice too bright. Vanessa and I have an idea. I braced myself, sensing trouble. We missed a big family celebration after the wedding because of our quick honeymoon. We're planning a party 2 weekends from now. My stomach twisted. I knew what was coming. Your lake house would be perfect, he said, his eyes gleaming with excitement. The outdoor space, those views, everyone raves about it. I stared, stunned. My lake house for your wedding party. I asked, making sure I heard right. Yeah, he said, laughing, oblivious to the weight of his words. Vanessa's thinking 40 people, maybe 50. She's got decor and food planned. She's thrilled. Their nerve hit me like a punch. After deliberately excluding me from their wedding, they'd planned a party at my home, my sanctuary, my pride, without even asking. The betrayal of missing Tyler's wedding last week still burned, raw and unrelenting. I'd spent weeks crafting a photo album for them, pouring my heart into memories of our childhood. only to learn from Aunt Vivian that the wedding was June 8th, not the 15th I'd been told. No one had called. No one had noticed my absence. And now they wanted my lake house? When were you going to tell me? I asked, my voice calm but edged with steel. Tyler blinked, puzzled by my tone. I'm telling you now, he said, as if it were a favor. Can we do it? Vanessa's sending invites tomorrow. You've already told people it's at my place, haven't you? I pressed, my heart pounding. Silence hung heavy. His hesitation a confession. We said it might be, he admitted, his voice faltering. Everyone's excited to see it. The audacity stung, a fresh wound on top of the wedding's betrayal. My lake house wasn't just a house. It was my dream, built with years of hustle, every polished floor and curated corner a testament to my strength. They'd erased me from their biggest day, yet felt entitled to my achievement. I took a deep breath, my resolve hardening. No. Tyler's voice cracked with shock, as if he'd never heard the word. You can't use my lake house, I said, my tone firm, unyielding. He leaned forward, his old, charming smile flickering, the one that used to sway me when we were kids. Ava, don't be like that, he said, his voice coaxing. This is your chance to join the celebration. The words twisted like a knife. The celebration of a wedding I was deliberately excluded from. I shot back, my voice steady but sharp. It was a mix-up, he sighed, his eyes avoiding mine, the lie as flimsy as ever. No, Tyler, I said, my anger rising. You chose to keep me out and lied to cover it. Don't pretend it was an accident. That's not fair, he said, his tone defensive, grasping for control. What's not fair is using my home, my hard work, for a party tied to a day I wasn't invited to, I said, my voice calm but cutting, each word deliberate. He scoffed, a careless jab that sealed my stance. It's just a house, Ava. Just a house? The words burned, an insult to everything I'd built, every sacrifice I'd made. No, I said, my voice like steel. I won't host your party. Fine, he snapped, his face hardening. We'll find another place. Mom and Dad will be upset. His attempt to guilt me only fueled my resolve, a fire kindling in my chest. Minutes later, my phone rang, Mom, right on cue, her voice heavy with disappointment. Ava, I can't believe you're refusing to help, she said, her tone scolding, familiar. This pettiness has to stop. The wedding was a mistake, but punishing everyone won't fix it. The word pettiness stung, a dismissal of my pain. I'm not punishing, I said, my voice steady, my heart firm. I'm setting boundaries. My home's not available. It'd mean so much to Tyler and Vanessa, she pressed, her voice pleading, tugging at my old instinct to please. Did my presence at their wedding mean anything? I asked sharply, the question slicing through her guilt. Silence answered, heavy and telling. Dad called next, his voice gruff, his words predictable. Ava, be reasonable, he said, as if my pain was a tantrum. Family sticks together. Family should stick together, I replied, my voice calm but firm. That's why it hurt when you all celebrated without me. Then Aunt Vivian called, her voice a lifeline. They've got some nerve, she said, her tone fierce with pride. Stand firm, Ava. You're doing the right thing. Her support anchored me, a reminder that not everyone saw my boundaries as rebellion. Over 2 days, family members reached out. Cousin Sophia and Michael texted their support, their words warm, validating. You're standing up for yourself, Sophia wrote. Proud of you. Others, swayed by Mom and Dad, urged me to let it go, to be the bigger person, their words a pressure to erase my pain for their comfort. On day 3, Tyler called again, his voice thick with irritation, his patience fraying. You're being ridiculous, he said, his anger spilling over. Everyone's upset over your stubbornness. The accusation burned, but I held my ground. I'm not stubborn, I said, my voice calm, resolute. I'm deciding based on how I was treated. You excluded me, Tyler. We'd include you this time, he said, as if it were a generous offer, a gift I should accept. Like at your wedding. I shot back, my words sharp, cutting through his pretense. That was different, he mumbled, his voice faltering, his excuse crumbling. Yes, I said, my tone steady. That was your choice. This is mine. He tried nostalgia, his voice softening, a desperate ploy. Remember our childhood promise to always be there for each other? He said, his words tugging at memories of us as kids, building sandcastles, sharing secrets. It almost broke me, the ache of our lost bond surfacing, but I saw the manipulation for what it was. I grew up, I said, my voice steady, my heart closed to his tactics. Promises only work if both keep them. The line went quiet, his silence a confession. I hung up, my heart heavy but resolute, the weight of my choice grounding me. Then my parents showed up unannounced, their faces a mix of frustration and concern, their presence heavy with expectation. We raised you better, Mom said, her voice thick with disappointment, her eyes searching mine. Family comes first. I let them in, the lake house's warmth a stark contrast to the tension between us. Family should come first, I said, my eyes meeting theirs, unflinching. That's why it hurt when you all celebrated without me, when you blamed me for missing a wedding I wasn't invited to. We've apologized, Dad said, his tone irritated, his hands clenched. What more do you want? Honesty, I said, my voice calm but firm. Respect for my choice. Mom tried a softer approach, her eyes glistening. This is about showing off your lake house, isn't it? Your success. It's about consequences, I said, my words cutting through her guilt. Tyler and Vanessa excluded me. I'm not hosting their party. So you're cutting off family? Dad asked, his voice hard, his eyes narrowing. No, I said, my heart steady. I'm setting boundaries. They left, Mom in tears, Dad silent, their disappointment a weight I refused to carry. It hurt, a deep ache in my chest, but I felt stronger, liberated, like I'd shed a burden I'd carried too long. The old Ava would have caved, desperate for their approval, eager to keep the peace at any cost. Not anymore. The wedding betrayal had changed me, taught me my worth. I'd spent weeks crafting that photo album, pouring my heart into memories of Tyler and me, only to learn from Aunt Vivian that they'd deliberately sent the date change email to my spam, that Vanessa had orchestrated my absence, fearing I'd steal their day. The pain was raw, but it fueled my resolve, a fire that wouldn't dim. The next day, I sat at my desk, the lake shimmering outside, and wrote an email to my family. I value you all, I typed, my fingers steady, but relationships need honesty, respect, and accountability. My lake house decision stands. I'm open to rebuilding, but I won't be an afterthought. I deserve better. I hit send and turned off my phone, letting them process, my heart lighter with the act of standing up for myself. The words felt like a declaration, a line drawn in the sand, a promise to honor my worth. The fallout split my family like a fault line, revealing where loyalties lay. Aunt Vivian, Sophia, and Michael stood by me, their support a lifeline, their calls and texts a reminder of true care. You're doing what's right, Michael texted, his words bolstering me. Others, swayed by Mom and Dad's pleas for unity, kept their distance, their silence a choice that spoke louder than words. Tyler and Vanessa held their party at a generic restaurant downtown, a far cry from the lake house's elegance. Sophia called to check on me, her voice warm, a hint of amusement in her tone. It's nothing special, she said, chuckling. Vanessa keeps calling it their backup plan, but it's clear they're disappointed, scrambling to make it work. I felt only a faint sadness, the sharp pain of betrayal replaced by a calm acceptance, a quiet strength I hadn't known I possessed. I leaned into my chosen family, friends and relatives who showed up, who saw me for who I was. Emma and Jasmine became my anchors, joining me for dinners filled with laughter, late-night talks on the deck, and quiet moments of healing. Emma's fiery rants about Tyler's betrayal made me laugh, her loyalty a balm. Jasmine, practical and wise, reminded me to focus on what I could control. My business partner, Zoe, introduced me to her vibrant friends, expanding my circle with people who celebrated my success without envy, who lifted me up without conditions. With Aunt Vivian's encouragement, I hosted brunches and movie nights at the lake house, transforming my achievement into a space of connection, laughter, and love. The lake house, once a symbol of my pain, became a place of healing, its walls echoing with new memories, its views a reminder of my resilience. 3 months later, Mom called, her voice tentative, a crack in her usual confidence. "We were too quick to dismiss your feelings about the wedding," she said, her words careful, a fragile olive branch. It wasn't a full apology, but it was a start, a step toward truth. We met for lunch at a quiet cafe, the air between us heavy, but hopeful. "I knew the invitations were mishandled," she admitted, her eyes downcast, her hands fidgeting with her napkin. "I didn't want to lose Tyler. Vanessa's tough to confront, and I didn't push." "So you let me take the fall," I said, my voice steady but not accusing, seeking truth over blame. She winced, nodding, a tear escaping. "I thought you'd forgive us, like always." "I'm working on forgiveness," I said, meeting her eyes, my heart open but guarded. "But it doesn't mean ignoring what happened. It's about moving forward with boundaries, with respect." She nodded, a tear falling, her face softening. "Dad hates conflict," she said, her voice low. "Avoiding it makes things worse," I replied, my words firm but kind. We hugged, a tentative embrace, warm but cautious, and planned to include Dad next time, a small step toward healing. 5 months after the wedding, Tyler texted, "Can we talk?" My heart wavered, torn between pain and longing, but I agreed, needing closure. We met at a coffee shop, both nervous, the air thick with unspoken words. He looked worn, his eyes shadowed, his usual confidence dimmed. "Vanessa and I are in counseling," he said, stirring his coffee absently, his voice heavy with exhaustion. "The wedding mess strained us. Her control, once aimed at you, turned on me, and I'm starting to see it." He paused, his eyes meeting mine, raw and vulnerable. "I see now how I failed you, Ava." And I asked, needing more than regret, needing accountability. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice breaking. "What we did was wrong. Your reaction was fair, and I hate that I let it happen." He leaned forward, his gaze earnest. "I miss my sister." Tears stung my eyes, the ache of our lost bond surfacing. "I miss my brother, who always had my back," I said, my voice trembling. "I want to be him again," he said, his voice cracking. "If you'll let me." "It'll take time," I said, my voice steady but soft. "Trust is hard to rebuild." "I know," he said, his voice resolute. "I want to try." We started small, texts about mundane things, short calls catching up on work or life, occasional lunches where we tiptoed around the past, testing the waters. I set firm boundaries. Vanessa needed to show real change before I'd see them together. Her stiff apology, delivered through Tyler, felt hollow, a gesture without weight. I wasn't ready to trust her, not after the wedding, not after her calculated moves to push me out. But Tyler's effort, his willingness to face his mistakes, gave me a flicker of hope, a fragile thread to hold onto. By the wedding's 1-year mark, I hosted a small family dinner at the lake house, not the grand party they'd wanted, but a quiet gathering with those who'd worked to rebuild trust. Aunt Vivian, Sophia, Michael, and a few others came, their presence warm, grounding. Vanessa was there too, uneasy, her stiff apology lingering in the air like an unresolved chord. Dad slipped into let's move on mode at times, his discomfort clear, his need for peace clashing with my need for truth. But there was laughter, warmth, and the stirrings of new traditions, fragile but real. We shared stories, clinked glasses, and for a moment it felt like family again, not the one I'd lost, but one I was building on my terms. After dinner, we gathered on the deck, the sunset casting a golden glow over the lake. Ellie pulled me aside again, her voice soft, her eyes searching. "How do you keep going after something like this?" she asked, her vulnerability raw. Everyone listened, the air still, the moment heavy with meaning. "I learned my worth isn't tied to others' choices," I said, my voice steady, my heart full. "You set boundaries not to push people away, but to protect what matters, yourself." Ellie nodded, her eyes bright with understanding. "I want to be strong like you," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "You already are," I told her, squeezing her hand. She hugged me tightly later, whispering, "Thanks, Ava. You're my hero." Her words were a gift, a reminder that my pain had purpose, that my strength could light the way for others. Alone that night, a glass of wine in hand, I stood on the deck, the lake shimmering under moonlight, its calm beauty a mirror to my newfound peace. The pain of Tyler's betrayal lingered, but it had transformed into wisdom, strength, and a clearer view of family. It's not just blood or shared memories. It's respect, honesty, and showing up in conflict, not just celebration. It's repairing damage done, step by slow, deliberate step. The wedding had broken me, but it also rebuilt me, stronger, wiser, unapologetic. My lake house, once a symbol of loss, was now a testament to my resilience, a space where I'd reclaimed my worth, where I'd forged new connections. Gratitude filled me for the painful lesson that forced me to grow, for those who stood by me, for the journey to a stronger, truer self. I thought of the album I'd made for Tyler, still unopened, a relic of a bond we were slowly rebuilding, on terms that honored my worth. I wasn't the same Ava who'd trusted blindly, who'd forgiven without question. I was someone new, someone who knew her value, who wouldn't settle for less. Have you ever set a tough boundary with someone you love? How did it change you? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear it. The hardest choices often spark the greatest growth. Like, subscribe, and share if this hit home. You deserve respect in every bond, no compromises. Thanks for watching, and may you find the courage to honor your worth, no matter how hard the fight.